The reason you're hurting isn't because you're broken. It's because the child inside you never felt safe, seen, or heard. And Rumi said, it's your root and yours alone. Healing the inner child is not fixing the past. It's reclaiming the parts of you that the world forced into silence. Welcome, beautiful soul. This space is for those awakening into their highest timeline, where mysticism meets identity and ancient wisdom meets modern truth. I am Sepide, your guide on this path of remembrance, power, and inner alchemy. Let's begin. Rumi doesn't use the modern term inner child, but he spoke directly about the pure heart, the unguarded self, and the innocent soul. And he wrote, inside you, there is an artist you don't know about. This artist is the inner child, your original, unfiltered spirit. The inner child is your intuition, your authenticity, your emotional truth, your playfulness, your creativity, your sensitivity, your vulnerability, and your purest essence. And it's not the part of you that got wounded first. Rumi believed that the soul's greatest lessons comes from pain. The distance between who you were and who you were forced to become. And Rumi described emotional wounding as being pulled away from yourself. And he wrote, ignore those that make you fearful and sad. But as children, you couldn't ignore criticism, rejection, emotional neglect, chaos, abandonment, invalidation, pressure, comparison, fear, and adult expectations, especially in school, and the lack of support. And your nervous system shaped itself around surviving environments that didn't understand your sensitivity. So what you did is you learned to stay quiet, to be good, to not need too much, to anticipate moods, to avoid conflicts and hide emotions and overperform, also especially in school, and self-abandonment. And why do I always mention especially in school? Because most of these aspects or most of these situations usually happen in school, where people force you to sit, especially in public schools, when people force you to sit 8 hours in a row in a room, even when you have like an hour break or 15 minutes break between it. For a child, also for boys especially, it's like so weird and so unnatural to sit like in a room with other people for 8 hours straight and looking at the teacher who is talking and trying to teach them something. How would it make you feel when you're not even allowed to go outside to have your fun, play, and you don't even have your own like rhythm in school? You always have to perform, overperform, and do good, and do this, do that, follow the rules, do this, do that, and say yes to everything that the teacher says. So your inner child became the guardian of your wounds. You grew up, but that wounded child stayed frozen inside. If this episode is resonating deeply, subscribe and like to stay connected to these weekly transformations of mystical healing and soulful remembrance. Now let's go deeper. Rumi's teachings give 4 powerful principles of inner child healing. The first one would be return to yourself. He said, come, return to the root of yourself. Healing begins when you stop abandoning your own needs. And the second one, give the child a voice. Rumi believed that the soul speaks in whispers. Your inner child speaks through triggers, tears, jealousy, fear, sensitivity, and shutdowns, and overreactions. That's your inner child screaming. These are not flaws, they are messages. The third one would be reparent with compassion. Rumi wrote, be melting snow. Wash yourself off yourself. This means that releasing judgment and meeting your pain with softness. And the fourth and last aspect is allow yourself to feel what was never felt. Rumi said, the cure for pain is in the pain. You must feel the emotion you were never allowed to express. And that's where the healing happens. Rumi believed that the pure heart is the seat of spiritual power. He said, when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you. And that river is the flow of your intuition, your purpose, creativity, joy, play, love, and authenticity. Your inner child is not weak. She or he is your inner compass, your emotional truth, your spiritual innocence, and intuitive genius. A wounded inner child is a wounded intuition. A healed inner child, however, is unstoppable power. And once you connect with him or her, you become unshakable. Rumi's deepest message is this: you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. And you were never small. You were never made to feel small. Your inner child is not broken. He or she is just buried, waiting, watching, and wanting to return. He or she wants you to slow down for a minute. Listen, especially to your body, to your gut feeling, to your heart. Soften up, trust, express, rest, play, and love. And be honest. Choose yourself and stop abandoning your truth. You don't heal by becoming someone new. This is something we need to learn. It's not like becoming another person. You heal by returning to who you were before the world wounded you. And your inner child is your original light. And he or she is ready to come home. Offer your hand. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with me. Remember, your soul already knows the way. I'm just here to remind you. And if this episode expanded your awareness, subscribe and stay connected to your highest timeline. Until next time, rise, remember, and return to your light.